Hello again. Nice of you to drop by. So this is part 2 of stereotypes about Asperger stereotypes, whatever you want to call it. And I originally wanted to make this video as an apology for how poorly the last video came out. And so I've been thinking all of today, like, how am I going to make this video better? And, how am I going to improve on it so it doesn't end up being a failure like last video? And so all day long, just, I've been going over in my head about, topics to cover related to Asperger stereotypes and this and that. And I'm just drawing blanks. So I figured, well, I screwed up the last video pretty bad, and everybody still praised it, or at least they say they did. Maybe they're just trying to save my feelings. But nonetheless, I didn't get too many complaints about the last video, so fuck it. I'll just basically do what I did in the last video and go onto the same stupid website that I was on last time and scroll through all the different stereotypes about Asperger's on the stupid website and apply it to my everyday life and my own personal experiences. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm so ghetto, quote unquote. Usually the video camera that I'm looking at right now, that I'm pointing at right now, I have that positioned over here on my my right speaker, to the right of my computer screen, and now I have it positioned to the left. I'm just trying something new, because I'm just random like that, So let me know which video position you like better, which camera angle you like better, this one or the ones in my other videos. So anyway, without further ado, or further ado not for that matter, let's begin now. Is not very good at small talk, especially intimate bantering. Well, that's not necessarily true. I will say, though, that I hate small talk on the whole. I really hate it. If somebody comes into my store where I'm working, or anywhere out and about, and somebody just chit-chats with me, it's typically like I'm just mentally projecting at them, all right, shut the hell up and think of something interesting to talk about. This is not, you're boring the hell out of me. So I guess to an extent that's true, but then again, that's kind of true for most people. Then again, you could be making small talk about something that catches my interest. Oh, look at this weather, gosh, it's looking cloudy, and I'm like, oh yeah, definitely, look over there, that's a big cumulonimbus, oh my god, that's the biggest cumulonimbus cloud I've ever seen, man, I hope that thing freaking, rains and storms all over us, and that's usually when the other person's like, okay, but, yeah, so that's that. Let's see what else. Often assumes that any comments or remarks require a response. I don't even know what the hell that means, I'm going to skip that one. Often does not care what other people think. Does not care what other people think. It's kind of a general thing to say, though, isn't it? I mean, everybody cares what other people think, to an extent. I know some people are like, oh, man, I don't give a fuck what they think. I don't care what other people... Yeah, you do. To an extent, you do anyway. You really do, man. So, I guess... people with Asperger syndrome, I guess, are a little less likely to conform to certain styles and certain this and certain that. So maybe, if you tell somebody with Asperger syndrome, oh, your clothes are out of style, or you're not keeping up with the latest fads, or this and that, he'll be like, I don't give a shit, I don't give a fuck what you say. But generally, I mean, people with Asperger syndrome, just like anybody else, we do have feelings, and we do more or less care what our peers think about us. So that I'm gonna call bullshit on this one and say that it's just a stereotype, simply a stereotype. And like I said in my previous video, stereotypes are based on truth, but they're gross exaggerations of truth much of the time. So often fails to read other people's standard body language. I'm gonna say for me, yeah, to a large extent. As I've gotten older, as you get older, you learn more skills, you get more familiar with things and this and that. But I do not read body language easily. I do not read nonverbal communication easily. I can, to an extent, but I do not read it very easily. Like, if you're trying to subtly send me little hints by way of facial gesture or, simple hand motion or something, there's a good chance I won't understand it. So, yeah. Often feels rejected if an important project or idea gets a mixed or lukewarm response. Project. Well, yeah, but like I said, that kind of applies to everybody. I mean, okay, so often makes others very angry because of the way he interacts. Well, that's very general. That's not very. That's a very not. Often makes others very angry because of the way he interacts. In what way? I mean, can you be a little more specific? What do you mean because of how we interact? Because we don't have good social skills? Because we come off as acting a certain way? This list is really starting to piss me off. I think I'm just going to, like, for the rest of the video, critique how stupid this fucking list is. I'm just going to go through every one of these stupid stereotypes about Asperger syndrome and give it hell. Because whoever wrote this, I think, was just bored and was looking for something to do. Or maybe they just were in it for the lulz. I don't fucking know. Okay. Often responds angrily to frustrating situations. Yeah, of course. Only Asperger's people do that. We're the only people who do that. I mean, nobody responds angrily to frustrating situations, right? I mean, when you're in a frustrating situation and something's really frustrating you, you just laugh and laugh, and you're like, oh, this is so much fun. I'm so frustrated, and I'm not getting anywhere. Okay, often says things in conversation that are inappropriate, divergent, or tactless. Okay, well, I can't really make fun of this one because that is very true. We don't have good social skills. So that one I'm going to have to go along with. Yeah, that is kind of true. Inappropriate, divergent, or tactless. Divergent? I don't even know the... yeah, and again, it's not because the person with Asperger syndrome is trying to hurt your feelings or they're trying to come off as being cold, but they don't pick up intuitively on certain subtle cues as people without Asperger syndrome a lot of time, so they come off as being inappropriate. Or they'll respond in a certain way to something that is out of context. I'm trying to think of an example. Honestly, I really can't. I really can't. Let's see. Talks forever without pause about favorite topics. Well, if you talk forever, eventually you have to die, don't you? I mean, what's the average life expectancy? 75, 80? Depending on whether you're male, female, if you live in an industrialized nation or not, pre-existing medical conditions, this and that. You gotta stop talking eventually, right? Talks forever without pause. Well, don't you gotta breathe? I mean, who the hell can just go, well, I think of this and this and this and that and this and this. I mean, yeah, okay, the guy from the FedEx commercial, the guy from the Micro Machine commercial, he can do it, but besides him, not many people can do it. Talks forever without pause about favorite topics. Yeah. Whatever. Usually keeps silent and does not interact if faced with a question or topic that is difficult to answer. Usually keeps silent and does not interact if faced with a question or topic that is difficult to answer. Well, that's not true. We try to bullshit the same way that most of you guys do. I mean, people with Asperger syndrome, I mean, if you can bullshit. The only difference is that people with Asperger syndrome, like myself, we're not typically as tactful bullshitters as neurotypical people like yourselves. So maybe we'll pause for a second while we're trying to think of something. Oh, God, he got me with that question. What can I say? Let me think of something witty to come back with. Oh, I got it, So, yeah, so that's that. Blah, 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 blah. And this list, it goes on to say, do some people with Asperger's have some of these characteristics to varying degrees from time to time? Yes. Do all Aspies have all of these characteristics all the time? No. So at least they're being fair enough to say that these are just stereotypes. And stereotypes are stereotypes. They're based on truth. They're not totally true. So at least they're going that far. At least this list is being that fair. Having Asperger's can be worrying and upsetting for all those concerned, but there will be areas in which Aspies, I love that, Aspies will excel compared to the general population. Oh, okay, here, now we have good stereotypes. A sensitivity to sound could lead to working in sound recording or music. Well, I'm a musician, and I was, back in the day, looking into doing sound recording, so I'll give that one a pass. A sensitivity to the taste and texture of food and drink. People with Asperger's could become great gastronomes and food critics. I don't feel like going on to Wikipedia or Wiktionary, whatever it is now. If anybody can tell me what a gastronome is, please let me know. I do have sensory integration problems, and I cannot eat certain textures of food. For instance, I like yogurt, but I cannot eat yogurt with the bumpy fruit in it. I don't mind eating fruit, and I don't mind eating yogurt, but I cannot mix the fruit with the yogurt because it's mixing textures. And that's something, I guess that's what it is for me. Generally speaking, there are exceptions, but I cannot mix certain food textures together. I cannot be eating something that's mushy and experience something crunchy in it. It throws me off, and almost to the point of nausea. How would that lead me to be a food critic? I don't think so, unless you want me to say, let me try this yogurt with bumpy fruit in it. Wrong texture. But then again, I don't speak for everybody with Asperger syndrome. Maybe some of them are sensitive enough to food to where they could put their sensitivity to good use or their fine taste to good use or whatever. So, anyway, a sensitivity to visual information can be useful in photography, drawing, and visualization used by architects and artists. Well, I can't draw worth a damn. I can't sculpt worth a shit. I can't paint worth a fuck. I am not visual. I can appreciate art. Don't get me wrong. I can definitely appreciate art. I don't have any visually artistic ability whatsoever. So again, let me say this again. A sensitivity to visual information can be useful in photography, drawing, and visual used by architects and artists. That is, if you are visually artistically inclined. They forgot to mention that, because the same way that some people with Asperger syndrome are good artists, and some people with our Asperger syndrome, they're good artists. You get the drift. Aspies are generally free from sexism and racism. Oh my god, that is such fucking horseshit. I'm sorry. There's a website called Wrong Planet, and it's an Aspie website. It's a great website, and basically it's full of blogs and topics and ideas. Anything that interests you, you join message boards and you talk about it. And I'm sorry, Aspies are generally free from sexism or racism. That is bullcrap. There were so many issues and drama, and this being thrown around and that being thrown around. I'm sorry, Aspies are just as racist and sexist and homophobic and anti-Semitic and anti-Islamic and any other prejudicial, bigoted, whatever the hell, as neurotypical people are. So, no more bigoted, no less bigoted. This is bullshit. That's all I'm going to say. Aspies can be very sensitive to the plight of disadvantaged people around the world. So can everybody. They can use their sensitivity and wider differences to help others who are in the same position as themselves, or act as arbiters and mediators in dispute situations. I like how they word it, though. Aspies can be very sensitive to the plight of disadvantaged people around the world. It goes without saying that anytime you have any stigmatized disability, whether it's a form of autism or a speech impediment or a movement disorder, some sort of disability or disorder that's made fun of a lot of times, and just stigmatized by the general population, it goes without saying that it can either bitter you towards people, or it can make you more sensitive. It can make you more of a sensitive person who wants to help other people. So this could be true, I guess. I don't like how they word this, though, and I'd really like to get in touch with whoever actually wrote this and ask them a few questions of my own as to how many people with Asperger's and autism they've actually known. Okay, Aspies have proved themselves to be great innovators and inventors, not only of products, but also of ideas concerning literacy and storytelling. I don't know anything about that. Have there been Aspies who have invented stuff? Yes. Have there been non-Aspies who have invented stuff? Yes. But Aspies have proved themselves to be great innovators and inventors. Let me say, Aspies have proved themselves to be potentially great innovators and inventors, the same way anybody else is. I want to check to see how far I've gone so far. I don't want to bore you guys. A couple people said the last video was a little too long. Blah, blah, blah. Let's see, where are we at now? Oh my god. We've gone 15 minutes already. Alright, tell you what. I'm going to turn this off right now. I'm sorry to keep this long. I don't even know if this video is going to fit on YouTube with as long as it is. But I'm going to let you guys go. Let's just call this a wrap. Maybe I'll do a part 3 if I feel like, boring you guys some more. Maybe not. However, give me any input, any critique, any whatever, blah, blah, blah. You know what I said in my last few videos. Talk to you guys later. Bye.